Asa is my name. Asa. Asa.
Oh, Asa.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
Our dear listeners, welcome to today's Spectrum on DC Talk Radio. You know that today we are privileged to host the Economic and Equity Party President, the public lawyer, Mr. Chilufya Tayali, as we look at national matters. Mr. Tayali, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I must say I'm excited to be on radio after being chased away from a radio like this one.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to be back on radio because during that time I got scared to say, will I ever be on radio again? But thank you to UPND and Liswaniso who have assured us that no, you are free to talk. You can go on radio and talk. So I'm excited to be here, and I hope we have a good time during this interview.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward, to more insight on the issues we are going to talk about this morning. And compliments of the season. Happy New Year.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year to you too. It has been quite a new year for me, and I'm alone at home.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm trying to draw my way through 2023. But I've declared that 2023 is going to be a year of change. God is going to change things in our lives, because many times, we look at life and we despair. We are wondering where we're going, what's going on. I want to declare out there, everybody who is listening, that 2023 is a year of change. God is going to do great things in our lives. God is going to do great things in our country. 2023 is a year of change.
2023, like you have said, it is the year of change. Maybe we start with the year 2022, which we saw you were arrested. I don't know how many times.
5 times.
On what charge? You can help us.
5 times I was arrested. 5 times and detained. One time I was saved by, it would have been 6 times, but this other time I was saved by Makebi Zulu.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched when these police officers came to my house, and Makebi Zulu came in and rescued me. So it makes it 5 times. Otherwise it would have been 6 times. The other time Makebi Zulu came in, but this time around they were not compromising. They had to take me in, and they give me a very good beating at force headquarters. You can imagine. Wow. Force headquarters. At the office of the IG. That's where I was beaten by that police officer. A very senior police officer, a director of Crime 1. He gave me big slaps, man.
Why did you not take the issue to the Human Rights Commission? Because we have the Human Rights Commission.
It's true. I actually did complain, but at the end of the day, I don't think some of these institutions are working very well. Starting with the Police Complaint Commission, because one of the issues the first point of complaint when you get mistreated by the police, we have the Police Complaint Commission, and unfortunately that commission is not very helpful, and the evidence in that commission is not very helpful is the abuse that continue to happen in the public. Because if the police really knew that the complaint commission is there and it is effective, the police would not be as abusive as they are. There is a lot of abuse that is currently going on in the police, particularly when you talk about people that are in detention. You know, a lot of people are in detention right now for cases that they should not be in detention for. A lot of people are being beaten right now. I can be very sure, right? Even right now, if somebody says, let's go to Central Police, I can find people there with wounds inflicted on them by the police. So, if the police commission is working, and it's not that people are not complaining, people do complain, but unfortunately, this commission really is not serving its purpose.
So, are you saying?
Because it's the same with the human rights. Because look, the Human Rights Commission, they came to see me and everything. I mean, apart from that, that's it. Okay? All you see with the Human Rights Commission, all you see is these reports. Usually, you just see these reports where they say, oh, so many people were tortured, blah, blah, blah. That's it. Beyond that, nothing else.
People voted for change in 2021, and that is one of the reasons. The president, talked about that, abuse of, people's rights. When they are arrested, let them be, given bail.
Yes.
If the offense they have committed
Yes.
is bearable.
Yes.
But is there a change from, the previous regime?
It's actually
the new.
It's actually worse. It's actually worse, and I can challenge President Hakainde Hichilema to this, because President Hakainde Hichilema himself has been talking about this strongly. You remember the first time that he spoke to the Zambian people as a Republican president, when he accepted, the election, okay, as president-elect, he alluded to that. Then, in his inaugural speech, he spoke about that, and he spoke about it very strongly. Unfortunately, what has happened is actually worse, according to me. It's actually worse than what we had during the time of President Edgar Lungu. And I mean, from my point of view, I mean, the statistics are there. For the 7 years that Edgar Lungu was in power, I was only arrested 3 times. 3 times. For the time that Edgar Lungu was in power, 3 times. 7 years. Hakainde Hichilema, he only 1 year, he has only been in power for 1 year, 6 months, 1 year, 4 months. 1 year, 4 months, I've been arrested 5 times. The other one saved by a lawyer. So basically, I'm talking about 6 times. So surely, you can't tell me that it's better said. No, you said this. You said this. It is about me expressing myself. I have been arrested 6 times for expressing myself, nothing else. For exercising my right, my fundamental right to.
During President Lungu's time, you were charged with defaming the president.
Defamation of the
president.
Yes.
Yes. And what is your say about this? Where President Hakainde,
the defamation of the president is a fact that this government is somehow dictatorial. They are more inclined to dictatorship than democracy. In a democracy, you follow the law. In a dictatorship, you don't follow the law. So even if there are laws, in a dictatorship, those laws are not followed. And for example, we were just talking about the abuse of the police. The law clearly states that, when somebody is arrested, after a thorough investigation, by the way, they must establish a prima facie case. After that, this person must be, taken to court within a stipulated time. But do they follow that? They don't. So, I mean, why should I celebrate to see in the law? See if somebody reads for me to say, no, Article Chakuti says that once you are arrested, 24 hours, you must be taken to court. Should I be celebrated? Should I feel secure? No. Because so many times, people are picked and thrown in the cells, and they don't take them to court. So, the piece of legislature is there, but it doesn't help. So, that is the first thing. The second thing is that this issue of defamation of the president, it is again, President Hakainde Hichilema, one of the problems that he has is that he likes to play to the gallery. He wants people to speak of him good and so on and so forth. So he will say these beautiful things, he will do some of these beautiful things, but in reality, it's nothing else. So when you talk about that one, defamation of the president, of course he can even boast about it. And I'm sure in other countries, some journalists from Nigeria were calling me and telling me to say, aren't you happy that your president has done this?
Yeah.
You know, come on. There are other pieces of legislature which they can use to still arrest you for the same thing that, they are saying they have abolished.
Which one is that?
We have got the cyber law, for example. The cyber law, in my last arrest, somebody said that you have harassed a certain chief, harassed on social media. So you can be picked for something like that. So it's neither here nor there. There is nothing to celebrate.
But why did you not condemn when the cyber law was signed into law by the former head of state, the 60th Republican president?
You must be very careful when you drop a question like that to say, why didn't you? Because when you speak like that, you must have evidence that I actually didn't. But on record, I actually did condemn this. And it's not only in this government that I've been arrested for that. I was actually arrested for that myself and charged on that, during the time of Edgar Lungu. So I have been condemning it. I have been condemning all these laws that, stifle people's voices. I am against that. I am a Democrat. I am a free spirit. I want people to express themselves. So any law that stifle the voices of the people, I am not for it. So I have condemned it, and I still condemn it. And President Hakainde Hichilema, should do well to remove that, the cyber law, because really it is there just to oppress people.
Our dear listeners, you can also be part of the conversation today. We are privileged, and we host, the Economic and Equity Party President, Mr. Chilufya Tayali, who is joining us as we discuss on national matters, surrounding our country. And as well as that the UPND have been in government for 1 year, 4 months.
Yes.
And how do you rate them out of 10?
Out of 10, I would, as a government, I'm telling you, out of 10, I would give them 0.6.
Wow.
Yeah.
0.6.
Yeah. 0.6, not even 1.
Why?
Not even 1. Why? They are failures.
This is a government. The time they were in opposition, when you were arrested, prior to the 2021 general election, you praised and you said President Hakainde Hichilema is going to win.
Yes.
And is going to do better than President Edgar
Yes,
Lungu.
absolutely.
Why do you 10?
Absolutely. Because he has failed. I was hoping, like many other people, because look, I had no confidence of President Hakainde Hichilema. I always called him I always called him the lesser evil. Yeah, I've called him the lesser evil. Edgar Lungu was a lesser evil. Hakainde Hichilema was a lesser evil. And even when voting, I voted for President Edgar Chagwa Lungu, in spite of the fact that I was very emotional during that time of elections, because, just about 3 months back, I was arrested for kind of advising the PF that, look, this cadarism is not helping you, and it's going to cost you an election. And for that, I was arrested. And I was very, very upset for that, because I was like, come on, I'm trying to help these people, and they arrest me for it? Okay, fine. Let's see. They will see what will happen in the elections. And of course, that was my message even going towards the elections.
So it contributed to PF's downfall. I
did more, but not more than they themselves contributed, if you get me right. I did contribute to President Edgar Lungu losing, but not more than he did himself and his government. Because really, the people that voted for Hakainde Hichilema, they didn't vote for Hakainde Hichilema because he was the best. They voted for Hakainde Hichilema because they had no alternative and they just had to change. That's why they voted for him. And myself, I said, well, if you are not happy with Hakainde Hichilema, if you are not happy with Edgar Lungu, go ahead. That was my campaign message. If you are not happy with Edgar Lungu, go ahead, vote for him. But as far as I'm concerned, on myself personally and my daughter who voted, I said, no, I will vote for for Edgar Lungu. Now, I was hopeful, and one of the questions that was asked to me to say, do you think Hakainde Hichilema will do better than Edgar Lungu in this studio? And I said, yes, I think he will do better because he's a businessman and blah blah, and he's talking about this, he's talking about this. I mean, this is the message that everybody got. This is the expectation that we
But he has
got.
employed 11,000 health workers, 30,000 health teachers. Right now we're talking about, recruitment of the defense forces, 5,000.
Very good. Very good.
Where is it?
I like that. I like that.
And you give him 0 point.
So now, of the promises that he made, which made the 2.8 people go and vote for him, for me, he has delivered nothing on that.
Why?
Nothing.
11,000 health.
11,000. This is the song that is sung by UPND praise singers and President Hakainde Hichilema. President Hakainde Hichilema did not create that employment. President Hakainde Hichilema has not created employment. That 11,000 that you are talking about was created by Edgar Lungu. How did Edgar Lungu create that employment? Edgar Lungu created that employment by investing in infrastructure development. He built more schools, he built more hospitals, and consequently, people need to be employed. And these projects, they finished in 2021. That's when they finished. And some of them are still finishing now. And of course, when they finish, you need people to occupy those to be in those institutions, in that those infrastructure that were created. So it is not Hakainde Hichilema who created that employment. No, it is Edgar Lungu. Baechechi ni bamwenda mwalimwa. He found nifeka kwati wasanga omuntu na akalobwali, now he has done all the job. Na yana na ubunga na chitashani ashita ana nobody dia inefati ale pakula pala penefi. Just when he's about to dish out, and then this person bamuita pansat, no, ero nomba uli alambo kusta dish out ero amipera bonse ero wasa but yo uwali uamipela ni wakuti. It's this person that who has fed you. No, it's not the one. It's the person that went round and looking for food and cook it and whatever. Just because Hakainde Hichilema lipakulo wali teure tulisha iyo uwa tulishishe untu wafuailo bunga, untu wafuailo munani, untu wafuailo mchele Edgar Chagwalungu.
HH's government is the one who's paying those 11,000 health workers, 30,000 teachers. How does Edgar Lungu come in and this guy?
We need to be very logical when we are discussing these things. So we're talking about job creation, isn't it? And job creation, I've established that job creation was by Edgar Lungu. Now you're talking about payment. By the way, a lot of them, of those people that were employed, they are not actually getting paid. A lot of them, I can assure you, a lot of them are not actually getting paid. But nonetheless, even those who are getting paid, who is paying them? Is it Hakainde Hichilema, or it is you and I? It is you and I who are paying these civil servants, including Hakainde Hichilema himself. It's you and I. We are the one who are paying. So it's not HH who is paying. And I mean, even before, people are getting paid. So you can't claim anything about this to say no. It is just by the fact that there is a government and you are there. And that's why I'm giving them 0.6. Because they are there and things are happening. But really, it's not out of their initiative. It is not out of their promises that these things are happening. That is why I can't give them any, credit apart from 0.6 out of 10.
0.6 out of 10. So how can they best approach? You are an opposition leader.
Yes.
How can they handle this particular issue in different sectors? Let us talk about health, agriculture. We talk about mining. We talk about fishery.
Yes.
How can they best handle? Because you are providing checks and balances.
Absolutely. And you have asked a very good question. I mean, I'm opposition. So how can they do things better?
Yeah.
So the first thing is that I want to tell them that they need to be humble. And you know, many times people like to say, why do you always talk about President Hakainde Hichilema? Hey, hello, I'm president of a political party and I'm aspiring to be president. So I cannot be talking about ministers and the MPs. I must be talking about the guy that I want to replace. I want to replace Hakainde Hichilema. And so, my advice would be to Hakainde Hichilema. Number one is that, first of all, Hakainde Hichilema needs to come off the horse and humble himself. Hakainde Hichilema needs to humble himself. He needs to humble himself, because when you humble yourself, then you can listen. If you are too haughty, if you are too proud, if you are too boastful, if you are narcissistic, you cannot listen. You become impervious. And a leader who doesn't listen to people is a bad leader. And this is the number one thing Hakainde Hichilema. Can you be humble? Because when you become humble, then you will be able to listen to people and be able to reflect. Hakainde Hichilema, if he becomes humble, the first thing that he has to look at is, why did people vote for me? On what basis did the people vote for me? And he will find those 10 points of his. He will find a lot of literature that he wrote. He will find a lot of videos that he said. Those are the things that they voted him for. And those are the things that he needs to go to. Such as, for example, now just to go a little bit concretely, some of the things that President Hakainde Hichilema spoke about is the rule of law. The rule of law is very important. And he keeps talking about it. I don't need to lecture him about the rule of law and the importance of the rule of law. He says it. If there is no rule of law, we will not have investors. If there is no rule of law, there will be no peace. So rule of law is very important. If he continues disregarding the rule of law, becoming a dictator, it will be very difficult, because a lot of people will revolt against him. Zambians don't like dictatorship. Zambians don't like to be whipped. So if you are going to be whipping people, abusing people, look at what happened in Eastern Province.
Yeah.
I'm not condoning or endorsing violence, but basically just giving an example that when you abuse people, they will react and they might do something wrong. So that is number one. Number two, in terms of people need a life. They need to live. And how can people live? They need to earn a living. And this is whereby you create opportunities. Opportunities in what? Opportunities in job creation. Opportunities in businesses. Opportunities in agriculture. Unfortunately, this is not happening. When you talk about, for example, you talk about job creation. This, what we were talking about, the 19,000 and whatever, that is not job creation. Job creation is done in the private sector. That is where you create jobs. That is when you can beat yourself on the chest to say, I've created jobs. If you are counting jobs in the private sector, creating jobs in government, that is not job creation, because those institutions are part of government. As long as government exists, we need civil servants.
You have talked about him, not being humble.
Yes.
But this is a Republican president who has not bought a new motorcade for the one he rides in. This is a president who holds press briefings. For the past 7 years, we never saw a press briefing at a state house. This is a president who has not bought SUVs for his minister. How humble can the president be?
Asa, be very careful when you make these statements, because you might need to prove them. Are you telling me that the State House has not bought vehicles for President Hakainde Hichilema?
He's on record. He says, they gave me, they gave me an invoice to say, you need to sign so that we can buy new motorcade. And he said, no. Are the wheels not working for the previous, president? They are working. I'm taking those. Is that not humble?
The president, what the president says, I would advise you to take it with a pinch of salt, because most of the times he doesn't say the truth. Most of the times he doesn't say the truth. So from my point of view, I don't want to, because I like to speak concretely, but I doubt if at all this government has not bought vehicles. I doubt it. But nonetheless, even if they didn't buy, that is not the humility I'm talking about. That is not the humility I'm talking about. I'm talking about humility whereby you listen to people and you deliver on people. I mean, yes, you may not...
1 year, 4 months?
1 year, 4 months is a lot.
It's
1 year, 4 months in Shalelanda.
It took Edgar Lungu to build the flyover bridges in 7 years.
They have done a lot of things. What Edgar Lungu did in 7 years. Basically, let me just say what PF did in 10 years. It's a lot. And at the pace at which these guys are going, I'm telling you, they will build nothing in 10 years.
Inherited, an economy which was, entering into the negative.
That is a lame excuse. That is a lame excuse that should not be tolerated by Zambians. Why did they vote them in? It is for that reason. So they shouldn't criticize the very thing that brought them in. Okay? It is what brought them in by the fact that they were saying that the coffers are dry. That is what brought them in. And Hakainde Hichilema said, I've got a solution to that. I've got friends that will come and put money into the country to the point that the moment I will be elected, within hours, the dollar will appreciate. What basically he was talking about, because people will put in money. That's basically what he was saying. But even the IMF isn't that right. That's
our
right.
inflation right now, it is between a single digit and a double digit.
Do you even know how they come up with those figures? Do you? You and I
don't lie.
How do they come up? Yes, numbers don't lie, but at least 1 + 1 I can count. I know how it comes out. Who can even come here and say this is how they come up with these figures that they are throwing in the air? I mean, what impact does that have in your life? Yourself, what impact does it have in your life? It could be even 0.1 inflation. But of what use is it to quote these beautiful statistics, which we don't even know how they come up with, when your life is difficult? It is useless. I mean, right now we are talking, my friend, while we are talking about those statistics, people are being, load shedded for so many hours, almost the whole day. Whilst you are talking about those statistics of whatever, fuel price is almost is 26 kwacha, 27 kwacha, somewhere there. Whilst you are talking about that transport is expensive, while you are talking about that mini meal prices is 200 kwacha, whilst you are talking about that there are no medicines in hospitals. So what is good? What good are those statistics when the lives of the Zambians is not okay? What good are those statistics?
He has been in office for 1 year, 4 months. Do you expect him to fix everything at once? Are you being fair as opposition?
Okay, then tell me what he has fixed in the 1 year, 6 months. At least fix something there. Fix something. Not everything, but fix something. But even which employment? And I've told you, Edgar Lungu is the one that built the hospitals and whatever. So you haven't done anything. Even this load shedding we're talking about. At least he even put a time frame. On this one, he even put a time frame to say within 1 year. And even went to Parliament and said, you see, within 1 year, we have finished load shedding. And yet, twaisa kwata load shedding, chiwa mdala, chiwa. Really bad to kuchira nefo never Edgar Lungu wale to pay. So what is there really to say at balande ko kanshi fumoka ino wachitire kairi muri yo in 1 year 6 months so that ne kwachawe but file bombeka kulioko bale no mbawa takuli mona fertilizer look at agriculture kuli ba Edgar Lungu wale for 6 bags no mbawa isa wale for mama meda so what is he fixing and what fish na lamta shine?
Mr. Tayali, let us squeeze in our callers this morning. I know that they want to come in and ask questions from you, and also just to also to comment on what you have said. So please, when you call us, please keep it under 1 minute 30 seconds and give respect to Mr. Tayali, as you know that he's our guest here on DC Talk Radio. So please, you can call us or send us a text message on 0761 061909 0761 061909 or 0970 41 3909 0955 390909. Katuba constituency, I see you. You can give us a call. I was in Katuba, Mr. Tayali, over the weekend, and everyone was surprised to see the DC vehicle. Good morning. Tauka Mulibwanji.
Now Kabuna wa Moses. I able to play, but for the live one. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Moses, for coming through. We continue picking up calls this morning, and we are going to pick another asset. Good morning. How are you? Yes, Francis. Yes, Francis, we do have the president, Mr. Tayali, in the studios.
We're from Kwaya,
Kata niko mwenzi aba bantu bakutusha mumone mu hospital tamudu muti tamuli skani na mashini kuna papa atashua mulange kwa bantu bakume kwa ndama sinawa ditenda na mashini na CDF mu compound bale tera abantu bale kwa hospital skani ya down yo bakile bakine kuya ati alipa aba bale kuma 1000 Mungu kwa sana bale ya kumjie bale watu bakuskani na watu kuskani takuli skani bale wa skani ni mkaskani kumanya soko abantu barabikira agiye kuma private so nomba kuleko mbako please babate babikiye ndiye bale kulengera amasukane n'umufati babika mu compound bati bale tino kulungisha
Thank you very much.
So batutusha tayari na uliwaume.
Thank you.
Oh, what?
Thank you very much, for coming through, and Mr. Francis. There we keep on. We shall pick, 4 more. Then Mr. Tayali is going to respond. Good morning. Morning. How are you?
Hello?
Yes, we can get you.
Okay. What I'm saying is, tatukanya ukupera ma checks and balances. But you wena, apato alaga na wena hada. We want to let people twisting things which are real. One, when you say no, what has he done? There is nothing that he has done. But you are talking of the employment of teachers, and you again turn 90 degrees or 360 degrees quarter to around the world. But it's Lungu who built those schools. Have you been to Kashinakachi? What school did Lungu put up in Kashinakachi? But teachers have been posted there, and they are working there, and they are getting salaries. And you say it's nothing. How sometimes, not we know. Because the people that you are injuring, their president Hakainde Hichilema. Mind you, HS is creating his own voters for 2026.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You will be whitewashed. You are going nowhere.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much, for coming through. And it's 1 minute, 30 seconds. We keep on picking up calls this morning. Good morning. Tauka.
Na ukabwino zikomo.
President zinanga ndimepeza nipinga vacuum promotion sometimes matumia pango kama watu wa business compound kwa president niko na mafunzo vile ya tatu yalikuwa tupanda out mambi yoma kanya kwa ya ndio kama ganjo kama mnasonte unianga uje amala na mata sport ndio matuma kujia tu zidi pango zambia au zima kama kaunti ya ndani very true hilo chedi uje na president na mati is the thing of the past mananga na ma tekno tekwa tuamzepo olo wanapo wakasembea kwa meka ujamtwinga kutewa nini hili sisi mayo malaika naenda nade kucha kwa kubema malai mande ramba ki chedi nyasi sawa kwa ndio kitu sawa na kwa wani
Thank you.
Bwana moderate kwa ndani mama kwa chedi nzona ona chato na hiyo moderate na kitu kinaimo.
Thank you. People are getting on my nerves, but we want to accommodate as many callers as we can, so that Mr. Tayali can respond. You have posed 2 questions, and let us pick one more call. Then Mr. Tayali is going to respond. Good morning. Ciao kapu masenza bwanji.
No, kiamika Mungu atufunga. Happy New Year Tayali.
Happy New Year to you too.
Kamara Tumbeko. Hello?
Yes, we can get you.
Okay. Tayali. Isinaye nachoka patari. Muziva mamene nasapotera wasata. Muziva naichate amene ninakana Lungu. Imwe naine twenze wonse. Ninawakana Lungu kiti wanga ngale wa president. Ota iwala kuti Lungu wanakigasinga. Ota iwala kuti Lungu wanachika default. Ba president Hakainde Hichilema balipira nkongole za mene benzo kango wa kulipira Lungu. Simo bakamba kotoa Tayali. Tayali kata kakaunga kuli Lungu kuno kwa kanyama twenzo gura 200. Tayali Lojisheti muli Lungu yeze 3 days kuno kwa kanyama.
Zikomo. Thank you.
Mukutirizisa. Bakabwala la bonse bakali kumangi wa Tayali otahitana. Zikomo.
Thank you very much for coming through. Let us let our guest respond to the questions coming from Moses, Francis, Mr. Makondo, Fraser, and as well as Mr. Stumbeko. Mr. Tayali, maybe we start with Moses. You shouldn't be afraid.
Yeah, I think Moses was basically giving encouragement, so I can only say thank you very much for the encouragement. Yeah, but Francis lamented, the situation in our hospitals, and that is very, very important. It's not for me; it's for all of us, especially those that are in government. In our hospitals at the moment, there are no medicines, and even the CT scan is not working. Many things are just not working in our hospitals, including our laboratories in the hospitals are not working because they don't have reagents to do the tests. So there is a big problem, and this Makondo is saying, no, you are lying. And I want to talk about what I was just talking about, the issue of medicines. There was even a report which was presented in Parliament to talk about these things. So imwewa matongo ishireve Makondo leve panimwe. I'm sorry, I don't even have any other way of I can put it. It's you people who are lying. Me, I'm telling you the truth. I am a hospital. If you go to the hospitals, there are no medicines. That is no checks and balances. But even there was a report that came from Parliament. There in Iceland that I don't know how Zambians can judge who built schools. Whichever Hakainde badikula kwe school. Ito ine school wale ndapati waliako kwatile. Whichever Hakainde Hichilema bakulile. So clearly, ile fishinka, and unfortunately, ubunkosa mitwa mkwete. That's why you are not even sorting out problems. Be humble and acknowledge that there is a problem. Acknowledge that mulefilwa. Otherwise ngamakose mitwe ukula tukonka ishati yo mule kokulanda ni mwana mailo ba HH vale land that we will not excuse them. What do you mean you will not excuse us? We are telling you it's us who should say we will not excuse you for giving you a vote and yet you're not delivering.
Maybe you're not giving them proper checks and balances.
What proper checks and balances do they want?
We have called the president a liar.
He's lying. How? I mean, a person who lies repeatedly. If anything, I haven't called him a liar. I'm saying it could be a mental problem called mythomania. And this is a mental problem. It's scientific. It's not anything. It's just like malaria. And I'm challenging him to say, let's go to China and let them check us. What's going on? Because takwa afyo muntu chiramushiko ulebepa ati yo tari na rufya na bushani nebo uyu wachi from Mkulanda party Fraser ayeberati achipsha buno sana ati look bale chita exporting.
Are we exporting?
They are exporting. The president himself said it. He said it and he was asked, why can't you stop exporting power so that tukwata malaiti president aishira skati yote tutuleke because ngatualeka amaka stoma bakaya so that tutuleke. How can you say that when Zambians are being subjected to almost a full day
on a contract? Once you sign a contract, Mr. Tayali, you can't back away. Look ama contracts nangwatsta abrogate kwa liwati you pay, isn't it, for abrogating the contract. Maybe we don't have money because
they're
talking about the economy.
Look at Lekankweve, we should try one fear to fret one fear me to win. Whatever abrogation or whatever liability we are going to incur by cancelling that contract, can you compare it to the economic hardships that you are subjecting Zambians to? No. We are losing so much money on a daily basis because of exporting electricity. I can bet you that the money that they are getting from the electricity that they are exporting cannot be compared to the economic damage and loss that we are incurring as a country. And Hakainde Hichilema wafile watontonkanya wino chimone pepe kwati yo nje nshitishe nkwate 1 pin, but meanwhile the damage that is caused is 10,000 kwacha. This is what is happening. Even to cancel that contract, whatever money that we would have to pay, it cannot be compared to the economic loss that we are having as a country.
You being a president of the opposition, I'm sure you know what the Republican president has surrounding him. And Fraser did talk about, does the president have technocrats to advise him on when it comes to electricity?
Look, as far as I'm concerned, this president said he's going to have a lean government. But so far, I mean, he's proving to be having more people in government than these others. Look at how many people who are called advisors. Some of them you don't even know where to place them, those who are in state house. Then we even have these PSs, the so-called special duties. What are they doing? We even have ministries which are not supposed to be divided. Ministry, and it is being divided at Ministry of Sport, at Ministry of Art, Ministry of whatever. Come on, what is going on? So this man has more people around him than these others that he criticized, and yet are they advising him? They are not advising him. Instead, is the one that is advising them.
Coming to Stumbeko, as well. He says, this particular government is paying credit, which the previous regime has borrowed.
We rise a pachirimba that information to a perera wino. Ninkongola inshwareli pira. Ninkongola inshwareli pira. What debt? This government came in, they have not paid debt yet. They are going through what they are calling, negotiation, debt restructuring. That's what is currently happening. Tabala ambo kulipile nkongole. That is what is happening. And Hakainde Hichilema, when he struck that deal with our creditors, he was actually happy to say, now we have a relief because now we are not going to be paying debt. So that money which was supposed to pay debt, we will invest it. What has happened out of that? Nothing. So in Congole Tabala Tampo Kulipila, they are still negotiating. And God knows what will happen when they will start paying. So mwacha wandi stumbeko msokotwane kama yoyo stumbeko iwe uli mwacha wandi andi twafuma kutalinge fola ndile ule kwata date ya chine velaku vepa mwaiche velaku vepa ububuteko na bufirwa and face it. Lungu, yes, he had his own faults. I'm not saying he's an angel, but certainly you cannot compare Lungu na Hakainde Hichilema. Edgar Lungu is far much better than Edgar Lungu. Ngama percentages, Edgar Lungu tunawapera 70%, HH tunawapera 6%.
6% from 0 to 6%. You said 0.6.
Iwe mwana umfawina wa chimjupshat out of 10 na chikupera ti 0.6. 0.6. Convert that chita mathematics to percentage out of 10. It's 6.
0.6.
0.6 as a percentage, it will come to 6%.
Mr. Tayali, let us continue picking up calls this morning. And as you know that we do have the Economic and Equity Party President, Mr. Chilufya Tayali, joining us this morning as we discuss national matters surrounding our country. As you know that Mr. Tayali was on the Copper Belt, and we are coming to that. You give us more data. What is happening on the Copper Belt, more especially?
I hope na panota waise to pepeka.
No, especially the mines and to deal with in Mufila, Mupani, and as well as KCM in Chingola. So let us pick up 5, then Mr. Tayali is going to respond, then we go on like that. Good morning. How are you? I'm fine. Who are we speaking to? Mr. Douglas, can you kindly amplify your voice so you sound well?
Ineni richabe bwino ziko.
Tayari sometimes ngati mabora padiri ngamukamba kweta bezi zili genuine. Kani kwa tayari kutoka chapter kwa chapter nje wawaike semenge mopozite ngende kutoka be until now muga tepo appreciate kwa mtemene wa strike mwana ka ine panoteli ili panondine ngati vana vanga vaenda kuskulu ili nikaja chabe huko no manje wali imeshimisha kwa appreciate vijana ngomene vatisha ili mnukile kumalaiki wengi already wataki kupata mikono hapa kwa nimezanka ila tu wewe.
Okay, thank you.
So, thank
you very much. Thank you very much for coming through. We continue picking up calls this morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
We are okay. Who are we speaking to this morning? Mama T, we do have Mr. Tayali in the studios.
Ndife wilo mkwema I want.
What you are saying is the truth, is what is on the ground. They are saying that the balance and checks and balances is established in the hospital. Look at the papa like it. Who are the perogu criminal? You were on and we ate it. They say they want the perogu here. So why are they blaming Tayali for telling the truth? Tayali is only telling the truth. He is only giving a service to the nation. No one is speaking apart from Tayali and Shonten. These are the people who are speaking for the people. Because when Hakainde came into power, he said he's coming to fix what the PF didn't do well. So even if these people are criticizing, who said he's coming to fix? It was the Hakainde Hichilema. So there's no need for them to start saying, no, school. This is why Hakainde Hichilema is there.
Mama T, thank you very much. Thank you.
Again?
Thank you very much.
No, let me conclude.
Conclude.
Okay, let me conclude. So, ito tulelanda, patulelanda, pasintu tulesikamcharo. Tayari abapera 6%. 6% ya kula Tayali. Tapale pale muntu huyu.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for coming through. Let us mind our language as we come through on radio. As you know that this is a public radio station, and whatever you say is heard out there. Good morning. I'm fine.
I'm fine by obviously. Thank you.
Hashtag. That's the slogan, Mr. President Tayali. Hashtag. Na bafirwa baleya balekaka 2026. And I would like to see you so that you can help me that t-shirt, print that t-shirt. Hashtag na bafirwa baleya balekaka in 2026. These are failures. This is mediocre leadership we're talking about, President Tayali. You have put them on their place and continue doing that. This is why they are so scared of you that they are running and not sleeping in the night. Every time you move, they follow you to go and hound out you from radio stations. These are pathetic thugs.
Thank you.
You should not be even entertained.
Thank you, Mr. Elvis. Thank you, Mr. Elvis. No. Thank you very much. I won't allow you to use and radio-friendly language here because you might end up. I'm trying to protect you as well at your end because we might you might say something which might offend the authority. So let us pick two more calls, and Mr. Tayali is going to respond. Good morning. I'm fine, and how are you?
Yes, please.
Yes. Who are we speaking to? Yes, Isaac.
Batayali kanti ukagireni vakuyokyani vapangiri watu kukangirwa nawo makora vatapitenda ti awe hape atatapikuti awe vakangirwa tikugoterani kamirireni 2026 out twafuna kom.
Thank you very much for coming through. Let us squeeze in one more call. Then we let Mr. Tayali respond to our questions this morning. Good morning. Hello? Yes, sir. How are you? Mr. Maposa, can you amplify your voice? You are very low. Sorry? Hello? Please, can you come close to your gadget? But if you win, yeah, can you please ask your question?
This kind of question, you can put something which is very profitable to you. As you go from radio station to another, talking about it.
We have lost him there. Please, you can call us back. Now we allow Mr. Tayali to respond, to the questions which have been raised. You don't appreciate,
Yes.
because you don't appreciate Mama T came through as well. You're doing well.
Yes.
You're speaking for the people.
Yes, I think mostly I would want to address because Mama T, Elvis, and Isaac, they're basically, just speaking from their point of view. They are contributing, not so much of questions. But Douglas raised a very important point.
Mm-hmm.
He says, you are giving them 6% when, me, I'm a guard and my children are going to school for free.
Yeah.
Now, you see, this free education is exaggerated. This free education is exaggerated, and I'm talking about this. We are sending our children to school. Before I came here, I was giving my children money, a number of money to go and deposit in.
What about private school?
No. Government school. What But the government school, I remember the other day, even the presidential spokesperson, Anton, was saying, boarding, they are not paying. No. In boarding schools, children are paying. And that's fine. But anyway, the issue of free education, what are we talking about? We're talking about 200 kwacha ewa fumiako. 200 kwacha. That is a free education. Free education is 200 kwacha. Now, that 200 kwacha, ewa fumiako, compared to the mess that these people have brought. Compare the 200 kwacha. What is 200 kwacha? If you think about the load shedding that we are going through. Don't compare the 200 kwacha if you talk about the prices of fuel, the prices of mini meal, the prices of cooking oil, sugar. What is 200 kwacha? We would rather, from my point of view, I would rather be paying 200 kwacha than to be going through the life that I'm going through with Hakainde Hichilema. So ila 200 kwacha balela ndapat free education, ila 200 kwacha. It has brought us more problems. I would rather why send that 200 kwacha. Balunda na education yawana 500 kwacha. We are better off because we are spending more out of the mess that these people have created. So mune Douglas apole bomba ulela that ne God. As a God, I know you are not even getting more than 1,500 kwacha. And 1,500 kwacha because we have 200 kwacha. But you are not, look at how much you are buying ubunga. Look at how much you are spending on transport. Look at how much you are spending on cooking oil, sugar, and many other things. What is that 200 kwacha? It comes to nothing. So that is my point of view. Then, Bapenya Satyo Velami Womfia. Bapenya si, ne president wa Economic and Equity Party. Therefore, kuwaka teka na ine. Ngana isa pachilimba ndeanda fino. I'm offering checks and balances. Ndebo mbenchito yandi. Teko wati pali ulembo mfia. Na imwewe napopene mulinga mwaumfuati yo. Ndefo amichite convince Bapenya. Secho nishile pachilimba. Ndefo amila ngoko wati. Ine. Na wapo wino kuchilaba Hakainde Hichilema. So that bake sembo tera kungafira Isaac achiranda timuke minine na mwaka misonte.
Are you standing in 2026?
We will cross the bridge when we get there because it involves a lot contesting the elections at the presidential level. You know, it's not enough to come here on radio and impress people and think that yo my lonkawaka take fila fintu ufilo wa ipekanya bwino. Otherwise if never bale filo ba Hakainde Hichilema kukana ipekanya bwino bale chimona tichamu anoseka kwati bukateka kuya tola kuya kusenda waikala po ufila wakata plan, ufila wakata ma connections, ufila waishiba ichalo chenda shani. You must be well prepared. Hakainde Hichilema was not prepared at all.
Is PF using?
But PF by using email. PF is another party just like me. But PF bali ponsoka. They are broke. These people that even they talk about them what but PF bali ponsoka.
But you're always campaigning for branding.
Yes.
You know, the PF president.
Yes.
Once you campaign for your fellow,
exactly.
It's going to be, going for the same position. Which is the
like I'm saying, I must be ready. To be president. That is a fact. But that doesn't mean that I can't see the wrong things that are going on. I see them and I speak them. But when it comes to looking at those that have been around and those that are, at least alipia. Mundu with the alipia. And that's why I say, but PF ngamulelo le shapali abapali kukusara mkesa, because by the way it is the presidents of PF. So as you are looking for a president to replace Hakainde Edgar Lungu, Mundu with it comes out good. So it is because ndero le shama ama characteristics ya kwa mundu with it. Do
you see PF bouncing back to power in 2026? Because we are also an opposition political party.
With the mess that this government is displaying, anyone can be a president. I'm telling you.
When are you going to be president?
Myself, it could even be tomorrow. It could even be this year. It could even be. You see, leadership comes from God. You see, me, I'm a believer. Leadership comes from God. And there's Ngakusonta fatiniwe. Nothing can stand on the way. Nangfanywa Hakainde Hichilema nangwa makadazi wese wakume shani. But lesanga nakusonta. you will become a leader. So, and when you become a leader, it is when God decides to say, this is my chosen one.
But you have never held any, civic, office. How do you know that you are?
No.
How do people trust you?
No. Listen, I've been very clear. I say leadership comes from God. And if God, you have asked me when, I said that is dependent on God. And if God chooses me, but so far, I think okay? But two minutes I say, but if you're under Chave, David, at your nation. But when God is the one that has chosen you, even the inadequacies and your limitations, they go away. God gives you the grace. God gives you the grace. So, for now, I am saying, I'm living one day at a time. Today, I'm on DC radio. Tomorrow, I don't know where I will be. I live by God's will, and of course, do what I have to do on a given time. Right now, we are offering checks and balances to the promises that President Hakainde Hichilema made. And we are saying, out of those promises that he made, he has failed.
We have a text message, coming in, and this particular text message says, "Good morning in the studio. I am Mr. Buadia from Kabanana. Mr. President, what is your observation on the drop of inflation in Zambia?"
I'm sure Vachisa join, but basically, I mean, those things for me, my reflection on that is that it is of no consequence. The inflation and those economic statistics that this government is quoting, they are of no consequence as long as people are suffering in their homes, as long as youths, they don't have employment, as long as mufupatala tamuli miti, as long as farmer balepoka tumeda, those statistics, they can go katushi nikuisa nikuhewa na kuheaven, whatever.
Mr. Tayali, you were on the Copper Belt this particular, past weekend, and we saw, certain activities and, unwanted, activities, more especially in the journalism, sector. We don't want to invite a person to come for a radio interview and being chased from, from the station. So, what are you, and we saw, the UPND, leadership, did, condemn, that particular act, giving you, so much. Is it giving you so much relief? Looking at
that
the government, party condemned that particular act.
First of all, I must say that what happened in the Copper Belt was very bad, and it should never happen in a democratic state. It is because of those kind of actions or those kinds of acts that make some of us say this government is dictatorial in its leadership. It's because of those kind of things. Because in a democracy, you give freedom of expression to the people. You let the people express themselves. In a democracy, you let opposition political party leaders engage with the citizens. In a democracy, you let the media houses, operate freely. But these rights were abrogated in that action. And I would have loved that condemnation of what happened in the Copper Belt to come from the top. I would have loved this to come from the top. Like President Hakainde Hichilema himself talking about it. Why? Because these are fundamental rights enshrined in our constitutions, and he swore the constitution to defend those rights. So he's supposed to come out strongly and say this is not right. Apart from that, even himself has made pronouncements on it. So he should be able to say, come on, this is not what I've said. Why are you doing this? So that apology and cheating that came from Liswaniso is not so significant to me. But I can only pray.
So you don't accept?
No, I don't. Because really, it should come from the high offices of this country, because that is very serious. It was not a simple matter. It is not about Chilufya Tayali. It's about the fundamental rights that we respect in this country. So it should have come from the government than from a party official. Liswaniso, thank you very much. You said that, but I think we need more than the statement coming from Liswaniso.
How is it?
And I pray that this will be the end. We will not have a situation again of cadres attacking us in the studio, wherever I will go. Because right now, I want to go to Livingstone. I'm planning to go to Livingstone based on the fact that Liswaniso has said no one should do that. And I'm counting on that. I want to go to Livingstone and have a radio station there.
Copper Belt, how is the situation? You are on the ground, you interacted with the people on the Copper Belt. How is it?
Naibipa, ala naibipa. It's bad. It's really bad. Copper Belt is bad. Wakateka, Hakainde Hichilema. Copper Belt is very bad. Well, let me tell you, a lot of people have no money. The economy is on a crunch in the Copper Belt. I will start with Chingola. Chingola, a lot of people survive on the mines, as you know. And a lot of people, I mean, there the mine that is, the big mine there is Konkola, of course. And in Konkola, a number of people are not getting paid. A number of people, the people who work in the mines, I am a mines, they don't employ directly. If you are ZCCM, you employ abantu directly. What they do now, they subcontract services. And the contractors are the ones that hire people. Now, what is happening is that the contractors are not being paid. And therefore, they are also not paying their workers. So the majority workers in Chingola work for the contractors. The people who work for Konkola itself, they are very few. Majority are working to the subcontractors. And these subcontractors are not being paid. And therefore, a lot of people in Chingola are not getting paid. And therefore, kulinsala kopa kuna nkani Chingola. Tuafumapo, let's go to Mufrila, where I wanted to have a whatever. Mopani, my friend, it is frozen. There is nothing that is happening there. A lot of workers again, I mean, they are going without getting paid. 8 months. 8 months, mwana. Now you can imagine, 8 months. How can you survive?
How should government deal with this issue? Because we heard the president in his first briefing. The president, talked about it, with Mpani, it's a small issue. With KCM, it is a bit complicated. Then the second, press briefing, the last one he had in 2022, he talked about the issue is not as it seems. So, as an opposition political party, how can you advise them? Because we know KCM was placed under a liquidator, and was it a wrong move from President Edgar Lungu, placing KCM and Milingo Lungu liquidator?
Exactly, a very good question. I mean, we have to look at what is working. What is working? When Milingo Lungu went into KCM, AMA contractors started getting paid. Milingo Lungu salvaged, Konkola from, running down. It was on its knees. People, creditors were moving in, but Milingo Lungu came in and saved it, and people started getting paid. Now, they have come in, they have removed Milingo Lungu and given him all sorts of charges and whatever. Anyway, that is up to the courts. But now, they have moved in. And what is happening? It is worse. They have gone back again.
They say, one aspiring candidate for the PF said that was very wrong for the previous regime to put KCM under a liquidator. Was it a wrong move?
Well, from my point of view, it was the best move. It was the best move because had it not been for that, even Hakainde Hichilema, Hakainde Hichilema says it should have been put under management. Which management? There is no money. The company was insolvent.
So you decide to wind it up, it's a good move?
No.
Because when you appoint a liquidator, it simply means you are winding down the company.
It's not wind down. The liquidator, when you bring in the liquidator, what Edgar Lungu did, he put in a liquidator. But when you are given as a liquidator, you don't just go there to stand like a bailiff. There is a difference between a bailiff and a liquidator. A liquidator runs the company whilst he's looking for somebody to pump in money or to buy it, basically. You understand that? So a bailiff closes the shop and starts selling things. A liquidator he keeps running the institution is open. And this is what they did. And that was the best solution, because Milingo Lungu kept KCM going. And he looked for money and made it sustainable, whilst he was looking for people that can buy it. So for me, there is no any other way. That was the best solution. Because when you talk about management, it's like to say you get some people from somewhere to come and manage it. But those people that you are bringing in, they are like consultants. Where are you going to? How are you going to pay them when you don't have money? So Hakainde Hichilema, which cannot work, and it wouldn't have worked. The solution that Edgar Lungu brought in was the best solution. Unfortunately, they are messing it up because they are not running it properly. This is the problem. They are bringing in their friends to do business there, such as, you know, the first thing that they did is to bring in auditors. Is to bring in auditors who they paid a lot of money, and those auditors were their friends. That was wrong. So what is needed, Bwana, what is needed at the moment is what Edgar Lungu was trying to do. Make that thing run, and then eventually sell it at a good price. Not what is happening, because what is happening, no, but privatization, whereby they told us to say, you know, there is no value. Because this is what is happening now ku KCM. Baka tuwewa ati no, it's chintu ichita pari tachukwe tena value. Ero wake se chisha cheap, ingefafine wati sile pami godi. When with Milingo Lungu, the difference, you see the Milingo Lungu, Edgar Lungu, Milingo Lungu solution is to make it look good first, then sell it. Now these, they are making it look bad, then sell it.
Okay. Let us, move into, let us, we take, a shift now to load shedding.
Yes.
Are you being affected by load shedding?
My friend, when you talk about this load shedding, like I have told you, Amalite Neson Dela and the Sopang and the Pamandita Paya Amalite. Ukwisa ni 23-24. Yaya Amalite Yaya 9 Kuro. Elo Yaisa is 23. I mean, I'm lucky myself. I'm running a genset. And that genset, I'm spending 200 kwacha every day to run it. 200 kwacha every day, which is expensive. Now, this is a domestic, this is a kayanda, ndifeneka. Now, think of it, those who are depending on electricity. Like yesterday, I went to Kulibadawa Weoda to see what is happening. They are not doing anything. I have also heard, I received reports that more than 3,000 people have lost employment in Mansa. Because in Mansa, they are doing, manganese? And the smelters there, they have closed. They have closed the smelters, and they have laid off more than 3,000 workers. There are other industries also here in Lusaka and elsewhere where they have closed because they can't run. And I was, one example I can give you, Chinese were Pangamalata. And you know whatever Pangamalata, you see these Tuma shops that sells the building material. They buy from those Chinese. And they are closing. They are closing. They are not working. So we have so many people that are being affected by this load shedding.
But how best can we deal with this issue?
Yes, very good. First of all, when you don't have, you can't be boasting that you have by selling to outsiders, sorting out outsiders when you don't have. So that exportation of electricity must stop. Forthwith, it must stop. I don't know how many megawatts, whatever it is, it will help. At least, now we actually reduce 1 hour. At least it will help. That is number one. Number two, this government, they have no choice but to start looking for where they can buy electricity themselves. There are places where they can buy electricity. So instead of selling electricity, they should find a way of buying electricity and cushion Zambians, because abantu barachula mwe bantu mwe mwawatano mufundo. You can't give them fertilizer. You hammer them on agriculture. You even now hammer them on the industry, on the industrial aspect. I mean, how are we going to survive? So surely this is a disaster. This is a disaster, and there is no way out. We need to stop, exporting electricity, and of course, import electricity ourselves. import electricity.
Let us, pick up 3 calls, then we conclude on the show for today. The Spectrum, we are privileged, to be joined by Mr. Tayali, who is the president of the Economic and Equity Party. So please, when you call us, please keep it under a minute so that we can at least, pick up, 3 calls. And Mr. Tayali just to respond as we are closing down the show. Good morning. Yes, Mr. Leon.
I am going.
We can get you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Leonard there coming through and giving us his contribution. Good morning. Hello? Hello, you're through to DC Talk Radio. Hello? There is no call, there is no one responding there. Good morning. How are you? Who are you speaking to? Yes, Mr. Sakala. We have Mr. Tayali in the studios.
From you can be continue to be quiet, don't follow, don't encourage capitalism in the country. Let them, these cutters of weekend, show the same. This country as that now is makes a great day as that now we should just declare a state of emergency of this mess which we have.
Thank you.
You see? 12 hours will be scheduled.
Thank you very much, because we are running out of time. We have 3 calls, and all the 3 calls are just saying, be strong, speak for the people.
And all I can say is thank you very much for the support. Thank you very much for the support. And most of the times people like to say, we all have the right to speak. Speak wherever you are, in your little corners, but wherever you are, speak, so that when Hakainde Hichilema hears from you, at least it will carry more weight. Power is in you speaking out and exercising your right to vote. Mm-hmm. I think that's what basically I can say to those people that are encouraging me. I'm also encouraging you to speak. Let them hear that you are not happy. Let them hear that they have failed. Let them hear that you would want to change if this continues.
Mr. Tayali, as we conclude the interview this morning, you seem to be a vibrant young man, and we just saw another vibrant young man by the name of Pilato, who appeared to be critic to government and being given a government job. If President Hakainde Hichilema had to call you and give you an offer as an energetic and young, vibrant Zambian citizen, would you take the offer?
Mwana inepo na kubombela abantu. Where I stand is to work for people. So I am ready to work for people anywhere as long as I can be effective. So I would not want a job, especially with PSC, so that you go quiet. No. I would want a job whereby even people can see that I was on about the number. Everybody go. If you feel it, feel it. So for me, I am ready to serve people. I'm ready to serve people, and this is not to ask for a job. No, what I'm doing here, I'm working. And if the president says, no, here you can serve better, and but zone, for example, if the president says, no, you know what, can you come and help me to lead this country? In each step down, you will say, because upon each one, definitely I'll be able to work. And for example, maybe somewhere else to say what? I mean, it has to be, I must be able to make an impact. Maybe something, I must be able to make a difference, and you must be ready to hear the truth, because I would not go there and start changing. If you are whatever, that will remain. But over and above, Hakainde Hichilema over and above, whilst I'm ready to say, Hakainde Hichilema never feel. It would be very difficult for anyone to go in that government and change things unless Hakainde Hichilema steps down and you go there. So the job that I would want to accept is Hakainde Hichilema resigning and Vambika Pofidafini. I would be happier.
Under what clause in the constitution? Because if the president resigns today, the vice president,
very good. Bariani package. Ni phone na SIM card. But vice president na president ni phone na SIM card. So when the president resigns, na bana rumango bafuna tabachashani, bachita resign. Elonga bachita resign. Because people are saying, I mean, you call for change. We can only change in 2026. The constitution allows us to change even before the general elections by a president resigning. When the president resigns and the vice president in this instance after resigning won't ever be divided, then we can have elections. We can have elections and we elect a new president. It is possible. The president can resign on moral grounds, but even the citizens can ask the president to say, muneto alikuvika pachipuna but wafirwa tetutrolele 2026 kavie resign and ngalo mfira abantu. If he's a president, if he loves people, he will be able to resign and we can have elections. So it is possible for change. It is possible for Hakainde Hichilema to resign on moral grounds. It is possible for Zambians to ask Hakainde Hichilema to say, can you resign, so that to be capable.
Mr. Tayali, thank you very much for making an appearance today on the spectrum of DC Talk Radio.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. I'm glad that we have finished the program. I hope that was
Thank you very much, and we look forward to hosting you once again. Our dear listeners, this is where we end our show for today. And please, join us on Monday, same time, same place on DC Talk Radio on 90.9 FM. We always say, Kawusha, takolele uwo wapantuwa ipwishe, takolele. Good morning from the Breakfast Direct. President, thank you.
That was a very good one.
Thank you very much.